So today's session is all about IS-based ticket console for the smart IT. So Ashwini, over to you. You can start presenting your session.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
cool. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Just a quick intro. I'm Srinivas Ramamurthy. I'm a product development architect. I've been with BMC for over a decade. It's 11 years now. I've been with BMC. Been working on ITSM. I'm a product development architect for Smart IT ITSM product line. Uh, this session we will look into what are the new enhancements that we have done. When I say new, I mean it's been ongoing for almost 1.5 to 2 years now. But these are the new enhancements that we are doing on Smart IT for Smart IT screens. Uh, so today we will be covering mainly Smart IT, Share Ticket Console, Asset Console, and Calendar. These are the three screens that we have developed on top of Innovation Suite-based application development. So just to have a good understanding on what's really happening today in Smart IT. So if you actually look at this slide, today we have Smart IT. Smart IT is an Angular JS based application that we had developed back around 9 years back when we started with this. This was more of an hand coded screens, which was more or less static or very less configurable screens that we had. And while people were really impressed by the new user experience that they got with Smart IT back then, this really helped people adapt Smart IT. But then there were a lot of roadblocks in terms of, since it was not configurable, many people who were used to the configuration and customization that Meteor used to offer, they couldn't do much on Smart IT. So with that in picture, we 4 years back, we shifted to progressive web apps, PWA screens, wherein all our details, creations, and edit screens were moved to PWA, which gave end users and look and feel pretty much like Smart IT, but with the power of Meteor coming in. This also gave a lot of people who had customized their mid-tier to a very larger extent to move their stuff from mid-tier to the new UX. This PWA also gave the people who had built custom applications on mid-tier a new look and feel. So it was an instant hit, of course. I mean, every instant hit comes with its own this one. But yeah, I mean, that said, PWA was really well taken, and people wanted similar. I mean, mid-tier kind of a customizable screens, even for the other application screens. So when we started with a console, because the first thing when an agent logs in to an application, the first thing that he will do is land on console. And a day of a user agent, typically most of the time he will end up staring that console, refreshing it, seeing what has changed, what are the new tickets that he has got to his queue, and quickly do a quick reassignments or quickly change an status of a ticket. This is the typical usage that an end user does. And Smart IT had to an extent a good ticket console capabilities. However, the one thing that it lacked was the ease of customization, and of course, Asset Console didn't even have the customization capabilities at all. To address that, we started with Share Ticket Console. Now, even before me deep diving into what is Share Ticket Console and Asset Console, I just want to bring everyone to an understanding of some of the terms that we're going to use today. And I learned from Varun and others that some of you might not know the Innovation Suite based development, or you might be new. I'm assuming some may know, but just to set base, and this is by no means a deep dive, just a when I say something, what does it really mean on the AR world? So this particular table gives you a good comparison between IS objects and its equivalent AR objects. So in AR world, we have regular forms. In Innovation Suite, we call forms as record definitions. In AR world, we have joint forms, we have joint record definition in IS, we have vendor forms in AR. There is no direct equivalent of a vendor form, but we can consider there is a concept of an external record def or a custom record def that we can use to a similar effect of a vendor form. SQL form, there is no equivalent to it. Display only form. So Innovation Studio decouples the form and the views. Whereas in AR, a form is always, there is a view associated to a form. Of course, there are fields that can be in the form or can be outside the form, but there is always a view that is associated with the form. In Innovation Suite, it is completely decoupled, wherein we can use views and use so for display only form there is no equivalent of display only form, but what we could do is we can create a regular record definition and use that regular record definition in a record editor view in a temporary mode. Again, by no means I don't want to confuse too much, but yeah, I mean just giving a simple comparison. Then we have a regular form view, which is our regular view default view that we have. In that equivalent is we have a record editor component with a view. Settings is equivalent to configurations. Then we have client-side workflows. So this is where it is till now. I mean, we can see there was a lot of things that were parallels to what AR used to offer, and there is an equivalent in IS world. And this is where the client-side workflow is where you will see a very big difference in terms of what AR offers versus IS offers. So in client-side workflows, we have active links, actions, and guides. Similarly, even in IS world, there is something called as actions, where you could do actions like opening a view in a modal window, like open window, or you can refresh a table, you can set a property of a field. All these things are also pretty much there. And we also have change field in AR world. Similarly, you can set a property of something to hidden, something to read only. All those things you can do even in this side of IS world. The only thing is we can't really draw an equivalent to what is my push field, how what is my set field, how is it translated here. There is a concept called as a process, which is equivalent to our server-side workflows, which can be called from the client, and the process variables can be read, and process output can be set to the this one. So there are some ways where we can achieve it, but there is no one-on-one equivalents of our AR world. And then coming to the server-side workflows, as we have filters, escalations, and guides. Similarly, we have rule definitions and process definitions, which are rules and filters. Probably they're pretty similar, but again, in a hindsight, they're also different. And then we have menus, which are in the AR world, and we have nameless. Again, menu offers a lot more extensive options. Nameless maybe is quite limited in that, but yeah, I mean these are equivalent. Menus and nameless are equivalent. With this, let me quickly turn to Share Ticket Console. So when we started developing Share Ticket Console, one of the key things that we had in our mind was to make sure all our views are tailorable, they're mobile ready, and they are platform based, so that it is easy to configure, customize. They are built on shared components, so that not just Smart IT, when I even open BWF or any other service management app, all the consoles should look the same and should use the same components. It was built with an expanded filtering capabilities in mind, so that you can also filter on custom fields. That was something that we wanted to do from day one. And we also wanted to give some new capabilities like exporting of records to a CSV, sharing of preset that I have created with my coworker, and expanding in-row actions, because customization might not be limited only to adding one more extra custom field column as a column or a filterable column. I may want to build my own action so that I could do one click my own custom action that does simplify a lot of jobs for the agents. And also one other thing, since we are using similar components, same components across multiple apps, be it ITSM or line of business apps, we also built a line of business switcher, which means if an agent who is working on multiple line of businesses, be he is working on IT and let's say also some other line of business, he can quickly switch between IT tickets to another tickets, another line of business tickets. So what this brings extensive extensibility without coding. Of course, there is a change on which the coding happens here, right? And it is fully usable across different form factors. The only thing which is new to people who want to customize is they need to learn the new innovation suite based development. And of course, we are making it easy by giving a lot of examples and videos as part of this. Let me quickly go to a quick demo and let's see how it looks.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, this is my Smart IT shell, and this is the innovation suite iframe. This is an iframe which is loading an innovation suite view. And this is our share ticket console. And in this console, as I just explained, I mean, it is based on completely built on the innovation suite view development. There is an extensive filtering in terms of features. What filtering? It's completely documented and it is extensible. So I will focus more on extensibility and the other side rather than focusing on very specific filtering option or an this one. Yeah. So we have like you can pretty much filter on any any fields that that we have on any of our ticket types. And we also have some of the filters are called coded filters, which means they are very they have a very specific hand coding done. Here, see, there are certain things which we can make it as much generic as possible. Like, let's say, if I have a status field, I can say, hey, give me all those which are in progress or in pending. But there are certain things where I need to get data from multiple places, like something that requires my approval or something that is approved by me. These data is not really stored in one ticket or one form. I need to first go and say, hey, all those tickets that are approved by me, and then fetch those ticket details from the main ticket. This one. So such specifically such filters, be it approved by me or impact site, all those things. These are hand coded filters. There is a specific Java logic that goes behind it, where and these are more or less like it comes out of the box, which is coded by us. But that doesn't restrict end users by adding their own columns or any their own filtering. But again, that said, if they want to filter anything similar to what we have done, like approved by, where they need to first go to some other form, filter, fetch some data, and then filter based on that. Such things, there is no easy route. There needs to be an Java code, service layer code that needs to be provider logic that needs to be written. This is about filtering. The key thing is most of the things are looks pretty much the same. I will not go details into what are actually same, but what are different is something that I can quickly explain. Some of them is about exporting. So once I apply a particular filter, I can export it, and I can export either everything that is matching whatever is applied as a filter criteria, or I can also export some of the selected. So if I select a couple of items and say click on export, I get an option to export either all rows or selected rows. And one of the key questions that we always get is, what does all row mean? Is it something that is I'm seeing on the screen, or is it beyond that? So to answer that, it is everything that is matching this criteria, not just the ones which are there in my screen. So, however, there is a limit. As we all know, there is an query limit that AR puts. In one query, you can fetch 2000 to 5000, whatever is the query limit, max query limit parameter that is set in the AR word. It will be restricted based on that. And other things is about search. The search that we have exposed here is not for searching the records only on the screen. This search also does a SQL search, which means it goes to the backend, gets the data based on whatever I have typed. That is also quite different. And then coming to the presets. So this is where we did a lot of our enhancements also. Platform did the enhancements, wherein one of the key asks that we always had was, hey, I keep creating this presets, right? Like, is there a way where I can share this with my colleagues? So for that, we introduced shared presets. So let me quickly save a simple, say, test critical tickets as my preset. So once I create my preset, what I can do is I can click on this three dot kebab menu, and I can say either I can rename it, delete it, or share it. And once I click on share, I will be able to share with any of my colleagues. Let's say I want to share it with Bob or whosoever, right? Like whosoever I want to share, I would be able to share them. And once I click on save, the moment the other person logs in, let me quickly. Yeah, so once I come here, I will get shared with me. I can click on this. This will show me who has shared what is the preset. I can click on it and I can add it. And once I add it, it will be available with me here. So this is more or less like shared with me, and whenever the user changes, it gets updated. All those things. It's quite built-in. Now that is one of the feature that we did, and one other thing that is also quite different, which I want to emphasize here, is also the stats card. Whatever statistics card that we had in Smart IT was more or less static. Here now we have improvised it. This itself is also a component. So if there is something that I don't want, or I want to add as a new statistic card, I can do it. And we have also added some of the features, like when I click on it, it also highlights what is selected or what is not selected. All those things is taken care of, right? And one other thing is about the line of business switcher. For this, let me quickly switch to an other. So in this, I am part of multiple LOBs. I have access to IT. At the same time, I have access to HR ticket. So when I click on it, here user will switch from ITSM to case console. So this way, user can quickly move from one line of business to another line of business switch easily. Of course, I'm loading this for the very first time, so it might take some time, a while. But if I have access and if I have right roles and permissions, I will be able to see. And if you actually see, the look and feel is pretty much same. And I can anytime switch back and forth between these uh, particular consoles. So these are the key things that I wanted to highlight. Now, let me quickly go to how to customize or configure these screens. So once I'm in Smart IT, and if you are an administrator, you would see an Innovation Studio configuration link. Once you click on it, there are two kinds of customizations that I may want to do. One is I may want to just expose a column which is already there in my record definition, or secondly, I may want to introduce a new custom field that is there in one of my core forms to the console. For the first one, let's say, I mean, if I this is the ticket console. So to start with, if I have to customize, the first thing that I have to do is I need to copy a view. So what we do is whatever we have as a base view, these views, what we ship to the end customers are not customizable. That is because we don't want to introduce a reconciliation or anything as such, which will block the upgrades in future. So whatever we do the changes, it will always be there, and it in the default views, and these are non-customizable views. To customize, the first thing that end user or the customers have to copy the default view. Say once I copy the view, as part of this copy, all the objects on that particular view will get copied to the new view. And this view will be open for customization. And of course, this views are very complex views, and hence it will take good time to copy the entire definition to whatever name that I have given. And of course, in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, I have my colleagues also on this call, so you can feel free to add them to the chat. They will try to answer them. And also we can see if time permits, we can also take questions over the call as well. So once I view is copied, I can just go there, edit, and once I start, give me a moment. So once I copy a view, I can click on it and I can start working on it. And the view that you see, this is the Innovation Suite, Innovation Studio Designer view, wherein you can come and make changes. And some of the changes that you would eventually do will be on this particular grid. This is the table field equivalent record grid. And here you have an option to say, hey, if you want to add a new column which is already there in the record definition, you can add them here. Or you want to change something, you can do it. And a few of the things that I want to introduce here is we have something called as an named filters. So when I go to something like consolidated status, good. So if you actually look at the options that we get when we click on status all closed and all open, these are named filters, which means you can add a named filter option and its equivalent filtering that you want to do as well, which is so powerful that you can actually define your frequently used filter as a named filter option so that it will be available to all your end users. I mean, as an administrator, I can create this and I can attach an equivalent uh, filter where, I mean, this again, you can quickly build using the expression builder. I mean, all these, I think for today's might be too much for this one single call. But yeah, I mean, this is something that you can easily do. And apart from that, as I said, sorry, was there something? Okay. So apart from that, if there is any other, let's say, I mean, there is the site group column was not there. I want to add them. You can add them here and you can rearrange them. One thing that we need to keep in mind is once I do, there is also a concept of presets, right? So if you actually see, there is out of the box, we ship all these things as our OTB preset. But at the same time, as an administrator, I can come here and create a new preset as well. I can create a new preset which will be available to everyone. So how do I share a preset? One is through peer-to-peer sharing that I showed you earlier through share preset option. But at the same time, if I want to have a preset filter available for all my users, I can come here and create a filter preset. Once I create it, I can come here. If I can open this, I can edit the rename and do everything that I want, or I can come here and I can also define my preset. So you create a preset there, and here you can even define your preset what it should. So example, if I open this, all critical tickets have these columns. So you can say, hey, these are the OTB columns. Now, if I want to add a new column, I can move up, move down. I mean, I can do. So site groups is something that I just now added. I may want to make it visible for this, and I can make it above the actions. Now site group will be visible when I go to all critical tickets. So you can quickly see what all you want, and you can also specify if what should be the width of it and the things. Now, in the same way, I can come here. I can, this is my newly created preset. I can add whatever I want for this new preset, any specific filtering that I may want to add. Let's say it should be approved by me. And let's say, or to be approved by me, either approved by me or to be approved by, oh, it becomes and. Let's not take that. Maybe, I mean, something like site is Pune. I'm just taking it up. So just to say how you can easily define this preset, you can save it. And these presets will be, so now I made certain changes and this particular view is still not available for the end user set. So as an administrator, while I do all these changes, I can quickly preview on what am I building, how is it, and I can quickly test this. And if everything is fine, I can come back and activate this view. Now, this is as you just saw. This is. Let me see. Did I save? Give me a moment. Let me quickly save. And once I save, if I come back and preview this again, whatever save whatever new additions that I have made on the console I will now be able to test that. And one item that I first did was adding the site group as one of the column, and also adding a new preset, and both I can see now. So once I'm done doing all these changes, I can go back to my manage views, and now there is a button called activate. So the moment I click on this activate, this particular view will be activated for my end users. So let's quickly do that. Now I have changed this. Now if I go here, this is activated. So let me quickly refresh. And you can quickly see I came here, I have all critical tickets, then I have site group added, and I also will have the new. So this is how you can customize it. Of course, now what we saw is if that column is already existing, but what if my column doesn't exist? For that, it is little different. Let me quickly. So for that, okay, give me a moment. Yeah, so for that, I need to go to Innovation Studio. So in Innovation Suite, we have our application bundle called ITSM application. So once I click on ITSM application, we have a concept called as, I mean, we just saw, right? We have something called as record definitions. So here again, a quick recap, a records is equivalent to forms, views is decoupled from the forms. So we have a views as different, then processes, which are pretty similar to our server-side workflows, rules is similar to filters, name list is equivalent to menus. Now, when I come to the ITSM application bundle, I can see there is a record definition called ITSM ticket CRD. And once I click on it, it will open up the ITSM ticket CRD record definition. However, unlike the regular record definition, this is a custom record definition. So what is custom record definition? A custom record definition by itself will not contain any data. Rather, it will have something called as a data sources, and our data will come from the actual data sources that are mapped. In this case, this is the ticket console CRD. It has the data sources mapped as incident, changes, problem, all are regular ticket types. And each field or each column that we see will also be mapped to multiple this one. So let's say if I take an example of consolidated status, here if I look, you can clearly see the consolidated status field is mapped to a HPD test status field. So when you click on it, it will give you the entire list of all the fields that are there in HPD help desk. So the same field is also mapped to change request status, is also mapped to investigation status of problem investigation, similarly for work order or activity, right? This is how you map a particular field to the data source field. And there is one extra thing that we need to do if it is a selection type field. That is, we should also map the options that are there. So example, in consolidated status, we have draft, which is mapped to not all ticket types. Not all ticket types will have draft. So for whatever we have the draft, we have mapped it, right? So this is how you map. This is very specifically to an selection type of field that we need to do. Now to add a new field, you just go here and say, let's say I'll add a new text field. Now, let's say my custom field. And I can come here and I can add mapping. What should this field really map to? Uh, let's for some, let's take some sample. Probably, let's say, I mean, I'll take it as broadcat1. It might be your custom field here, but it can be anything. So I am mapping my custom field to HPD Helpdesk broadcat1. At the same time, there is no compulsion that the same field should also map for all other. It is up to us. If we want to map it, we can map it. If we don't want to map it, we can leave it as is. And once I do that, I can quickly click on save, and I can quickly click on save. Of course, I have made the changes. Now, once I made these changes, I can go to my manage views like I had done earlier. Now, my custom field will be available in the editable columns, and I will be able to select and add that. Let's quickly see how it works. It's a bad day that my server is little slow today. Oh, I got logged out. Someone else is using this. Give me a moment. Sorry. So one other way to go to the same view is just go to your innovation suite, click on ITSM application, click on views. We have the copy of ticket console view. Click on it. It will open the edit, designer mode. And once I come here, I will be able to click on my grid, and I can say edit grid columns. Now I can see custom field which I have added. Now I can add them here, move it up. Now once I do this, I can also come to my preset if I want to make them available even in the preset. I can, just the way I did there, I can come here. There should be custom, sorry. There is my custom field. I can move it up, save it, save this, save this, and then now if I either preview it or even once it is saved, I can go to my console. Now that it is already active, the moment I save, this will start appearing in the live for the end user. So let's say I go to all tickets. Okay, let me see if it is. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, it might not be added because my preset. So this column will be available to the end users. Of course, it depends on what columns that you might have mapped to. So this is a comprehensive demo of how ShareTicket console, and I'll quickly demonstrate asset console capabilities. Again, the console capabilities by itself are pretty much the same, and whatever steps we followed for customizing ticket console is also the same for asset console. The only thing that is different between these two consoles are the way the actions are configured. So in just going back to ticket console, quickly show, we have something called as row level option actions, where you can, let's say for this incident, I may want to quickly assign to me or quickly directly open for edit. I will be able to do this. And I can also select multiple items and do options like a follow, unfollow, flag, unflag, assignment, status update, related to another ticket or related to asset. All these things I will be able to do. And of course, we can even expand this by adding our own custom actions as well. Now, quickly going into the asset console view. As I said, pretty much everything is the same. Whatever we saw in terms of in terms of functionality wise, whatever is available in the ticket console is also available in the asset console, and I will be able to select multiple and do asset specific action here. Of course, these actions are there are actions wherein you can do bulk edit of items or bulk people relationship, all those things that, of course, it really depends on the permissions that you have. And we also have intro actions wherein you can see who are the related people, what are the CI to CI relationships that we have. And similarly, in terms of filtering, we also have some coded filters, like we had coded filters, something like some of the filters like owned by me, approved by me, or managed by me filters. These are the filters which have to do lookup in multiple forms. These are coded filters. Of course, there are other filters which are pretty much like the ticket console, which is a field that is available in the record definition. You will be able to filter even here. The one important difference that I want to tell here is for ticket console, like we had multiple data sources, even for asset console, we have data sources. So if I quickly go to Innovation Suite and let me bring that up. So if I go to my records, there is also, this is the ticket CRD, and there is also an asset console CRD, right? So here also for making the performance of the grid faster, one of the other important change that we have made is the earlier consoles were based on unions. And one of the key problems that we had seen was unions. Normally, when there is a filters that is applied, even though it specifically says I want to filter a specific type of ticket, it used to run the same query across all ticket types. Now with the custom record definition, we had flexibility to split the query into multiple queries. So whenever I make any filtering, that actually behind the scene in the Java layer or in the backend, where the query itself will get split into 5 or 10 queries based on the ticket types, number of data sources that I have. And if I have not even selected a specific data type, then it will not even make that query. So if I have set ticket type as incident and priority is high, it will not even make a query to change. It will directly go to HPD desk and say, hey, give me all high priority incidents. So similar concept even here, we have data sources. And in the data sources, we have two data source. One is the base element, and here is computer system. But yeah, one thing that we know, whatever is there in computer system is also there in base element, right? So to avoid fetching duplicate records, we also have an extra configuration. Um, Let me quickly show you that. So in the configurations, Innovation Studio configuration, we have some of the asset specific configurations here. So classes that needs to be excluded from the base element. So today we have two data sources there. One is the base element and another is the computer system, which covers printer, mainframe, and computer system. Now I want to add network as a new data source where I want to bring a class specific attribute as a column. Then I need to add that as a data source and come here and exclude that from the base element so that there will be no repetition. Again, all these things are extensively covered in the documentation. So I will also share the documentation link. In interest of time, I'll go to the another bit of the screen which we have designed using the innovation suite. That is the calendar. The one of the big differences between the previous calendar and this is it is more like a Gantt kind of an look and feel. The look and feel itself is a big leap forward from what we had earlier, and there is a there is also an quick view that you can get when you click on it. You get a quick view of the a particular ticket. You can also directly go click and get the entire food details. Of course, if you can also quickly click on the Asset Explorer, which will launch the same DB Asset Explorer. If you had Discovery configured, you will also see Discovery links added to your affected service. This also has extensive filtering, pretty similar. It can be extended. There are certain differences where we had presets. Here we have saved filters. That's the difference between the calendar on the consoles. But other than that, this is also driven by a record definition, a custom record definition. We have an ability to view the calendar in day view, week view, and month view. And this ticket will also give us an in terms of let's see if I have data which can show you conflict. This will also give you an overall picture of all the tickets which have conflicts as well. So this is much more extensive in that way, wherein you will also get an all the changes that are having conflicts. And of course, the previous calendar was showcasing only change, release, and outages and business events. Now, this particular calendar, as you can actually see, we can also view incidents, we can also view problems apart from the regular, and also tasks apart from the regular change, outage, and business events. And of course, if you go to this itself is also a component in IS, so you can go to Innovation Suite. Let's So if you go to views, there is an just like we have default ticket console SM, we also have a default calendar. Default calendar SM. Yeah, this is the default calendar. So this is the component. Of course, I'm in the base mode. Sorry, I'm in the opening the base view, so I will not be able to configure this. But you have set of options wherein you can actually change. You want to change whether you want to show in 24-hour format or 12-hour format. You want to show the sidebar, hide the sidebar. All those options. You want to start your day of the week as Sunday or Monday, all those configurations you can do. And at the same time, you can also map your filtering like we had for console. Again, this is extensively documented. I will share the document link. Uh, so these are the three main screens that is currently built on Innovation Suite. Let me quickly go to my this one. So quickly I will skip all this. I mean, why we went to the Gantt tender view, all those things. Probably I'll skip, given that we have pretty less time. Um, so one of the main things now I want to concentrate on is on the troubleshooting part, because most of the when there is someone reaching out to support, the first thing that you should definitely do is go to our docs and STDs to get a deeper understanding of all these features. And once you have a deeper understanding, one of the key things that we need to do, that we should do for any IS based app, is important things is get the fiddler logs or the har files if they're wherever they are facing a issue on the client side. And also, if there are any browser console logs that is getting printed, it is useful. And also, the other is the application logging that we have. So if you look at the logger configuration to get an fine fine details of a logs, we can configure it to info level in the settings and get those application log. Apart from application log, of course, filter and API logs, because it's still talking to AR, and AR is the one which is actually giving us the data. So the API logs will give us some items. Then if there is any issue with respect to actions that we do, like assignment, there is an issue, or bulk assignment, there is an issue, or a bulk update status, I found an issue. At that moment, we need logs for process logs and filter logs. Of course, how to get a process log and how to get a filter log, all those are already documented. uh, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, of course, with I just want to give at least 5 minutes to all of you to have any if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. If not now, then I can get back to you later as well. Yeah, I mean, that is all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Shuni.
Sorry, it
We
was
had
more of a big monologue, uh, but yeah.
Srini, there's one question you probably want to take that from Vijay
Yeah.
Kumar on share ticket,
Okay.
the custom fields.
Which one?
So if there were
Is
some
this
custom values added for status field before enabling shared ticket console, will those be
okay?
carried forward to STC, or do we need to
So
implement the
by
customization again?
default, yeah, by default it will not be available because we don't know what those custom values are, right? So the it is the administrator's responsibility to come to the status field and add them as a new mapping. So I showed, right, like selection field, we have a specific okay, I mean, quickly show again. By out of the box, whatever customization that is there will not be available. So they need to come here, create an overlay, customization here, and so let's say for consolidated status is the example that. So let's say for HPDR task, I now might have, one is this is the mapping at the field level, and once I have the mapping at the field level, is another important thing is the options. So out of the box, these are the options, right? Like now, when there is a new option that is, let's say I have added a new thing called as maybe incident pending, or I mean, or incident started as something, right? I'm just making it up, right? Like, and I come here, I need to map that particular thing. Okay, what does this should map to? Here, when I click on this drop down, this will give me all the values. So these are out of the box. Now, if you have added started as one of the options, it will come here. So you can click on it and you can map it. That's how you do it.
Okay, so basically they will need to customize that
Correct.
separately on the ticket console.
Correct.
Got it. Got it. Thanks, Srini. Thanks for answering.
You. Any other questions? I'll share this PPT with Varun, and
Yeah,
Varun, you can share with others. Of course, I mean,
definitely.
you know all most of us. I mean, we deal with cases every day, so feel free
Yes,
to get in touch with me or Geeta
absolutely,
or
Shani.
Rahul. Yeah,
Sure,
and we will be more than
definitely.
happy to share more details.
Great, Shani. Thank you so much. Okay, any last questions for Ashrini and his team?
Okay. So one question, Amruta, is you have copied the view, you did something wrong, and you want to revert, and that is something that is already available. So if I go here to manage views, if you actually see here, this says this is configured, but I can just do reset. So one is if you have not yet activated, you can just delete the view. Whatever you have copied, you can delete the view. But okay, I mean, I have configured it and I have also activated it. Let's say I have activated it. There are two other things that can happen, right? Like one is when should I reset my view? One is let's say if there is a customer who says, hey, you don't have bulk status update, but I want it today. So what they would have done, they would have created their own version of bulk status update. But in the next release, we also introduce bulk status update. At that moment, what they can do is they can, discard their view and they can come back to the default console view through reset. Of course, I mean, there is one other thing that we need to be really careful is about the presets. So one thing is definitely worth noting, and I think you would have already got or you will get asking for, hey, I had my users who were using Ticket Console, I configured it. Now my end users are saying that they can't see the presets that they had created earlier. That is because all the presets that we create are mapped to a view, not to the user. So it is per view. So that's it. Is it then I have already, does that imply that I have lost all my presets? No. We have an option when I am actually copying my view, I can also copy the presets that are created on that view to the new view. That option we have. And probably we can share the documentation on how to do that. And yeah, I mean, probably that will give an understanding of how people can even retain the presets that are there in the previous view to the new view.
Srini, one more query. Suppose there, like we have created copy for two, three types. Like I had a different requirement, so I have created that's a like maybe third version of my view. Then in that case, if I do a reset of that view, it will take me to the version 0 or it will take me to the version second of my view.
So, okay, one thing is right, there is always only one working copy, always. So if you had created multiple copies, it is still different view for us. So if I come to my IS here, right, like see, uh, the copy TC, okay, to better understand properly, I'll go to. So this is one view and default IT ticket console SM is one more view. I could have had multiple copies. The reset will always go to this view. Nothing will happen to the view that you have created. It still is there, just that it is not the active view. The active view will be this. Unless you come here and say, hey, I really don't want this, I can go ahead and delete it. It is still there and it is there. Just that it always comes back to whatever customer. So either I can make one of my view which I have worked on as an activated view, which I have customized as an activated view, or I can come back to my default view.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Thanks, Sri. Any other questions? Okay, so thanks, Srini. Thanks for this specific session. It is very much useful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks. Thank you, everyone.